The following video was recorded during ArcVic's 2015 OCD and Anxiety Week seminar. To see more segments from this exciting yearly event, or to learn more about ArcVic's helpline, support group, recovery programs, and community and professional education training, please visit the ArcVic website at www.arcvic.org.au.
Hello everyone. I've had anxiety for most of my life, but in my early years I never really knew that I had anxiety. I couldn't put a name to it. It's been a tough time for both me and my family, but it's something that we've both grown together and we've learnt to live with it together. I call it my friend. We were enemies, but now we are friends. Or we're trying to be friends. At the moment, I'm working as an administrative assistant, and I'm also building my business in photography. And I'll give you a bit more insight into the nature of my anxiety. It is a bit of everything. Working with my psychologist, we can never really pinpoint what it is that makes me anxious, but we feel it's a combination of a few factors. It's fear of doing something wrong, it's panic, it's obsessive compulsiveness, it's depression, it's social anxiety. I cannot put I can't put myself in one particular category of anxiety. I cannot say that I'm obsessive compulsive. I cannot say that I have depression. It's a bit of everything. It's being afraid of authority figures, bosses, doing something wrong. Have I done this right? Being able to do something perfectly all the time. Have I missed anything? That leads on to my early years, and probably the most toughest years of my life, my school life. When I was at school, me and my dad always had a conversation. Do you go through this when you were at school? And to a certain extent he did. But mine was a bit different. And I knew that, and my dad knew that, but we didn't really know that. It was a tough journey for us, in the sense that at the end of school holidays, there were times where me and my dad would be like, I'm afraid of going to school tomorrow. I would say, do I really have to go to school? And he would say, yeah, I think it is. I think it's important. And that's when everything would start, the first week back. Have I done everything? Have I done my homework? Have I done it properly? Have I backed up everything? Because at that time computers were there. Will I open up my laptop at school and my homework will just be gone? And then what will the teachers say? The rumination, it all starts. The checking and making sure that, I used to do the homework in my lounge room. Have I left a paper underneath the couch? The thought kicking in. And there I was in the middle of the night, Dad sleeping. Oh, let me just check underneath the couch. That starts, and then let me just remove the cushions from the couch and start checking whether there's papers there. Obviously there weren't any papers. opening up my diary, yes, I've ticked, I've done everything, but have I really done it? Okay, let me just open my laptop and check it. Oh, there it is, I've done it. I'll put it back. Okay, I think it's time to sleep now. Go to sleep. And then the thought comes in, have you done the homework? Have you got everything ready for tomorrow? That's anxiety speaking. Getting up, oh yep, my uniform is ready. I've got my belt there. I've got my blazer, because if I don't wear the blazer, I'm going to get a detention. So my blazer's there. Yep, it's there. Okay, have I done my homework? Okay, my bag's there. Let me just open it. Yes, I've ticked everything. Have I left a paper in the lounge room? Let me just go back and check. That's anxiety. Not knowing, like, everybody goes through this. Am I no different? But then you start to realise, when you speak to your parents, you look towards them for support, and they do that. They say that it's going to be okay. But you can never really tell whether you're anxious or not. It's a journey. It's a journey both for you and your family. My relationship with anxiety, it keeps changing, and it has changed over the years. At university, my anxiety changed yet again to symptoms of depression. Where I had anxiety, I no longer was checking, because working with my psychologist, we realised that it was just a knock on the door, and you don't let the stranger in. Because if you let the stranger in, he's going to sit there for a cup of coffee, he's going to ask you for cake, he's just going to lie down on the bed, and then he's just going to take over your whole life. So if you don't let the stranger in, we just let him stay outside. And now, at this very moment, it's generalised anxiety. There are moments when I'm go fine, but then there'll be situations. Obviously, I'm still growing, and you still encounter situations that you've never encountered in life, and you will have anxiety. You can never really run away from it. At least I know that it's part of my identity. It's learning to accept it, learning to manage it. We've had two very wonderful speakers today who gave mindfulness, emotions, and it was exactly that you need to learn about anxiety, you need to learn about your body. It is different, but it is you, and your journey is different to my journey and everybody else's journey. It really, the support around you is critical. They help you realise what are maladaptive strategies and what are adaptive strategies. My checking was a strategy, no doubt, but it was a maladaptive strategy because it prevented me from sleeping, from going to school and being ready on time. And Dad knocking on the door, well, it's time for you to wake up, I think. We are constantly, me and anxiety, are battling with each other as we continue to encounter new situations. I don't think I'll ever be completely anxiety free, but I think we're trying to work that way out. The best way I can describe it is like when you have a family member, extended family member or a colleague that you never really liked, who you were constantly disagreeing with, one that your whole family never really liked, but because they always seem to bump into you at every occasion, both you and your family have to start getting used to them. You start to understand that's who they are. That's what they'll do that all the time. But we as a family, and me individually, need to work with that. Anxiety is there, but sometimes you have to tell it, stop, I need my time, I need my own time. What helped me was my photography and my family on the right. My brother's not there because he doesn't like his photo being taken. I'm always trying to find a photo of him, but he doesn't want his photo taken. So, oh well. He will just miss out. My journey at ArcVic. About 2 years ago, I completed a support group training session at ArcVic. Why? Because I did not pursue my career in occupational therapy. It was a very challenging decision, but very important one. Because my journey throughout my education, completing a bachelor's of psychology, it was leaving school. It was very education based, you know. So I needed to have a different change in my life at that time. So, but I've always wanted to do something in my life where I give back to the community. Hence my choice of studying psychology. Hence possibly doing something in occupational therapy. But this was something that fulfilled that need, but without having further education. So at that training, it was amazing to see how many of my colleagues were aware of mindfulness, and we've talked about mindfulness today. It also made me realise that I wasn't the only one who was finding it hard to practice mindfulness outside of therapy. My colleagues and myself approaching Tabitha, who was the coordinator at that time, and saying, I think we can have a support group on mindfulness, because it's sort of like a reminder every month that, hey, there's mindfulness out there in the world for new people and for old people, for people who've used mindfulness. It's sort of like a reminder that we continue to practice it, because in our daily lives we tend to forget that mindfulness is helpful. So we formed that group, and 2 years now have passed, and we get regular members and we get some new members, so it's good. And they also kindly hosted my first exhibition, for which I raised some money for them, which was nice, because, you know, that's what helps. That what gives you the feedback from your environment that you're doing something right. Whereas my fear, my anxiety says, I don't want to do anything wrong. But when people give you that feedback, you learn, you realise that, you know, there's better things out there. Now I would like to share some of my photos. So my journey when I went to India, when I went to Europe, it's just there, it's peaceful, you know? It's me and my camera. And with me and my psychologist, we figured out that mindfulness and my photography are we're best friends. This was my trip in New Zealand. Standing there in front of the lake, it's just serene. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anubhav. Can I say thank you for your courage and your wisdom? And, sorry if I'm getting emotional. I've seen Anubhav grow when he came to ArtVic a couple of years ago. I remember him walking in saying that he wanted to volunteer. And Anubhav, you inspire people through what you've gone through and through your talk today. And he continues to inspire people through his photography. You've just seen just a very small snippet of it. But if you follow him on Facebook, which all of us do in the office, every day he's got something to share, the beauty that you see when you have your inner struggles. So thank you. And thank you.